Hello everyone, welcome to Java Academy, and in this video I'm going to discuss about what is sequenced collection in Java. This sequence collection is one of the new features which came in JDK 21 or Java 21. So in this video we are going to discuss about what is the sequence collection and what is the need of this sequence collection or what is the motivation behind this sequence collection. So here the first question is, what is a sequence collection? So by name only, it is clear that this sequence collection is one of the family member of the collection framework. And this sequence collection is the child class of the collection interface. And this sequence collection will be inherited by the multiple other interface like list, sequence set, DQ, and many more. So in JDK 21 or in Java 21, Java has introduced three new more interface inside the collection framework. And the name of those interfaces collection, sequence state, and sequence map. So now let me quickly show you what is the current hierarchy of the collection framework. You can see here now this sequence collection, which is the direct child class of the collection interface. And this sequence collection will be inherited by the sequence set, list, and DQ. Before JDK 21, the sequence collection was not there, and this list was the direct child class of the collection interface. But now this list is not the direct child class of the collection interface. Now this list is the direct child class of the sequence collection. So here you can see that sequence collection is there, and this will be inherited by sequence set, list, and DQ. On the other side, here you can see that even in the map, we have one more new interface, and that is the sequence map. So now this sequence map is the child class of the map interface, and this sequence map is implemented by the link hash map and extended by the sorted map. So now the question is, what is the need of this sequence collection, or what is the motivation behind this sequence collection? Why we need this sequence collection inside the collection framework? So to know or to understand what is the need of this sequence collection, let me first give you some example so that it will be more clear what was missing inside the collection framework. In this example, you can see that we have one list of integer. And now from this list of integer, I'm asking you to print the first element and the last element. So if you want to print the last element and the first element before JDK 21, what was our approach? So what was the traditional approach? So if you want to get the first element and the last element from this list, we have one method, that is the get method. And inside the get method, we have to pass the index. And while passing the index, we can get the first element and the last element from this list. So let me quickly write that and let me show you. Here I'm going to call the get method on this list. And you can see I need to pass the index. So once I will pass this index as a 0, then I will get my first element. And my first element will be here as a 10. So now let me run this example and let me show you what will be the output. You can see here on my console, the first element from list is 10, and this is the correct output. Now let me show you how I can get the last element from this list. So to get the last element from this list also, we have to call the get method. Now we have to pass the correct index value. To get the last index value, we have to call the size method on the list, and then I will write -1. So this will give me the correct index value for my last element. And if I run this now, I will get the last element from my list as well. So now let me run this as well and let me show you. You can see on my console now, I'm getting the first element from list as a 10 and the last element from my list is 21. Now, if I want to perform the same operation on the array of DQ, how I can do that? So let me quickly create one array of DQ and we'll see how I can print the first element and last element from the array of DQ. You can see here we have one array of DQ and we have some element inside this DQ, and now I want to print the first element and the last element from this array of DQ. If you want to print the first element and the last element from this array of DQ, we don't have the get method. So now the question is how I can print that first element and last element from the DQ. So inside the DQ, we have the different method, and the name of the method is get first and get last. So let me show you how we can print the element from the DQ now. Here you can see that I'm calling the get first method to get the first element from the DQ, and I'm calling the get last method to get the last element from the DQ. And now let me run this example and let me show you what is the output. You can see in my console the first element from the DQ is Java and the last element from the DQ is Hibernate. And this is again the correct output. Now the same operation I want to perform on the link hash set. Now what method I have to call if I want to print the first element and the last element from the link hash set? So let me first create one link hash set and then we'll see how I can print the first element and last element from the link hash set. I can say set of integer, new link hash set, and we'll pass the list value here. So now we have one set of integer with the value 10, 12, 32, 19, and 21. Now here also I want to perform the same operation. Now I want to print the first element from this set of integer or from this link hash set. In the link hash set event, we don't have the get method. So if you want to print the first element from the link hash set, you cannot able to call the get method, or you cannot able to call the get first and get last before JDK 21. Now the question is how we can print this. So to print the last or first element from the link hash set, we have to follow the some different approach. What is our approach that I'm not going to discuss now, but here you can see that if I'm trying to print the first element or the last element from the list, I have to call the get method. If I want to perform the same operation on the DQ, I'm calling the get first and get last. If I want to perform the same operation on the link asset, we don't have any specific method. We have to follow some different approach. So to perform the same operation on the collection element, we have to remember the different kind of the method, or we have to follow the different approach. And sometimes it will be hectic to remember a lot of method to perform the similar kind of the operation on the collection framework. So to avoid that, all Java has introduced one new interface, and the name of that interface is sequence collection. And inside the sequence collection, they have given some common method, and that common method you can apply on the any of the collection element, and you can get the first element and you can get the last element. Even they have introduced some more method. So let me quickly show you what all the method we have inside the sequence collection and what all other kind of operation we can perform while using that method on the collection interface. You can see here we have this is the sequence collection, and the method inside the sequence collection has been promoted from the DQ. So many of this method inside the sequence interface has been promoted from the DQ. Now to get the first element and the last element from any of the collection class, we can call the get first and get last. Same as if you want to add some element on the first index and the last index, we can call the add first and add last as well. Now suppose you want to remove some element from the first index and from the last index. Then you can call the remove first and remove last. If you want to reverse the order of the collection element, for that we have the method as reverse inside the sequence collection. Now let me show you how I can get the first element and last element from any of the collection classes, or how we can add the first element or the last element on the first and last index. So now here I'm going to comment on the sysout. Now I'm writing one comment line here. Now if you want to get the first element and the last element from any of the collection, we have to call the common method, and the method is get first and get last. Now you no need to follow the different approach after JDK 21. So here you can see that I'm trying to print the element from the list of set of integer, and I'm calling the get first. Same as if you want to print the last element, you can call the get last. If I want to print the element now from the list, not from the set, in that case also, I'll call the get first method only. So first element from the list, and this will be the list dot get first. And now if I run this, you can see it will print 10 and 10. You can see here, I'm getting the correct output. The first element from the set of integer is 10. The first element from list is also 10. Now, if you want to perform the same operation either on the DQ or sorted sort or any other collection class, you have to call only get first and get last. Now you can try to add the first element and the last element while calling the add first and add last on the set of integer or on the list of integer. You can try that, and if you feel any problem, just let me know. So this is all about what is the sequence collection and what is the need of this sequence collection and what all methods which we have available in the sequence collection. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video with one more new feature of JDK.